friends, welcome back to today's video, or if you are just tuning in, welcome to my channel. Everyone is welcome here, and I just want to start off by saying the tips today I used from Enailcouture.com. I do absolutely love these. I use them 90% of the time on clients and myself, but there's more information at Enailcouture.com. Or if you wanted to go a couple of videos back, I do have some more information in me showing the entire prep and application. For today though, I am going to go ahead and take this FZANEST jelly color. I will list below in the description box the shades that I used and where you can purchase them yourself, but I believe these ones I purchased from Amazon directly. They are by far my favorite jelly type of nudes, and they are less than 10 bucks. They are full-size bottles and really gorgeous. We started off with the gray nude color, and I just wanted it to be a little more opaque, but I didn't necessarily want it to be even more grunge or gray color. So I did go in now and top it with a bubblegum like translucent jelly color, and this is just going to bring some of that pink back that I missed from the last color without adding too much opacity, so it ends up just looking like a really pretty jelly base. Moving into the actual design though, I am going to go ahead and use this red that is from the Beatles Rainbow collection. I love these liners. They are super opaque. They are really nice. The brush is super tiny and very easy to do detailed like artwork with. Plus, if you're a beginner, they're really not too expensive. I got mine on Amazon Prime Day, so they were only like $3, but I believe the actual price of them is closer to $30. Still though, absolutely recommend, especially for anyone that's into doing art and doesn't necessarily want to get into purchasing different expensive brushes yet, and you're just kind of playing around, or if you're doing nails on yourself and you don't necessarily need all those additional liner brushes or art brushes. I did kind of mess up the pinky by turning, so just to let you guys know, I'm going to do 2 nails at a time, and then we'll do a flash cure of about 15 to 30 seconds inside the LED UV lamp, and then we'll move on to the next 2. That way there's less likely a chance for us to mess up. And in regard to the actual design itself, it is super modern or like contemporary. I think it's really trendy and super pretty. I've also seen it be called like abstract. So any of those words would kind of get you a similar design to follow. The one that I decided to do was the bottom left, and then you would move to top right. Then you would go back down to the bottom, but now the right side, and then the next nail would be top left. So there is an actual like pattern to what I'm doing, but there totally doesn't have to be. You can go in with any color and you can make any design shapes. This is just what I seen online, or at least a variation of it, and how I decided to kind of recreate it. But I am going to go ahead and insert some music now so you can just enjoy some of the artwork, and then I'll be back shortly. Okay guys, so if you're following along, we have already done all of our flash cures and a full 60-second cure, making sure that all of the red is set and not going anywhere. We are going to go ahead and jump into using the Beatles Gel Liner, and this is just the black one. And this is the one that I really like to use for any fine line and details. It is super opaque as well, and I would totally recommend the black and white of this collection. But before you cure it, you want to make sure that the line is as straight as possible. So if you want to thicken it, thin it, or just kind of erase and restart, you can always put a top coat down before this step. I didn't actually do that because these are super easy to work with, but that is a step that you can do just as an extra precaution to make sure that if you mess up and you need to use acetone or alcohol, you're not going to damage or start eating away at the color or design that you did with the red. So for this one, I did the lines pretty much on the middle finger and pinky finger first, just to make sure that I liked what I was doing and kind of clean those up. We're going to do a 30-second cure after both of those lines so we don't bump into them. And then I will go back and do the other 3 nails. Now, there was no actual reason behind my method. I just felt like it would be easier to do the straight lines down. And then for the ones that were slanted at the top, I knew that I would have to turn my hand a little bit more. So I just thought it would be easier to do those 2 together. And I really like working on 4 fingers at once so I can cure those upright and you don't get any pull of the gel polish to the end of the nail because you're trying to cure your thumb. So another tip that I have for those that are starting out on like any type of line work or any designs on nails, it would be definitely to do the pinky through the pointer first, get those cured and ready, and then move on to the design for the thumb. That way there's no accidental bumping in on the nail dryer, nor are you kind of like turning your hand and causing the gel polish or design to kind of move around or run. And depending on the products that you're using too, gel paint is definitely recommended for beginners because it's a little bit thicker. It's not going to move as much, so it's going to be easier, I think, for you to get the lines that you're looking for. But if you don't necessarily have gel paint to work with or like a pudding solid type of paint, then using liners like these are super helpful. They are just going to be a little bit thinner, so you just want to be very cautious of how much you're laying down and also cautious on how you're curing them. Also, if I can say so myself, I am no professional when it comes to doing any of this. This is all trial and error, and I've only been doing nails like on myself for the past year. I just recently started doing clients this year, so I only have a couple of months with that. But I definitely am really into art, and that's, I think, my favorite part of doing nails is really getting intricate detail. So if you're along for the journey with me thus far, you can totally tell that this line is not perfect and I'm trying to clean it up as best as possible. But in the beginning, cut yourself a little bit of slack. It's okay. Every single teacher in the world had to start somewhere and learn themselves. So as long as you're trying and you're putting forth practice and effort every day, I promise you will get better and it will get a lot easier. I mean, I'm still not perfect by any means, but I definitely am happy with my progress. And anyone that is just starting out too, be happy and take pride in what you do. Just remember to practice often and you will get a lot better. This is what they look like after they've been fully cured. Now you can just go ahead and top coat with like a glossy top coat and this would be super pretty by itself. But I wanted to do something a little bit different and kind of amp it up a little bit. So what I decided to do was put down a tempered top coat. This one is from Enailcouture. It is one of my favorites for if you're going to add additional strength to a GelX nail. So in general, if your nail is going to be like short to medium, you don't necessarily have to reinforce them, especially nowadays they are very super strong. But by adding a tempered top coat, it's very thick and it's going to help add additional strength without adding bulkiness. It's also one of the things that I totally recommend doing before putting down a matte top coat. So here I'm going in and coating each nail. I've already cured them for 60 seconds with that glossy tempered top coat. And then now I'm using the Kupa matte top coat on top of that. By using a glossy top coat underneath, it's going to fill in anything like imperfection wise. So any divots or anywhere that your gel may be a little bit thicker, it will kind of even that out before you do it matte. This is what they look like at this point though. They are super pretty like this too, but I did go in with some diamond gel. This is an adhesive 2-in-1 gel, so it's meant for rhinestone placement. and I'm going to actually use it today with my FZANEST liner brush. I'm not going to be putting down gems, but I am going to go ahead and use some loose glitter to do sugaring on the black lines. You could totally go in with gold, which is what I was thinking, but I did end up just doing black. By using the black, I think that it really complements the color underneath, but the gold would have looked just as pretty. If anything, it would have popped out a little bit more, but I definitely wanted the red to be more of the focus. So I zoomed in just a little bit to show you what I'm doing, but you just want to get a little bit of that out on your plate or whatever you're using for mixing, and apply it just where the black line is, or in your case, whatever your design is. So if you decided to do a swirly line, or if you outlined a little bit differently, mine is just going to be where the black is, and then I am going to go ahead and pour some, well, a little too much, but you get the point. We're going to go ahead and pour that right over, tap off the excess. Repeat this step pretty much for every single nail. Again, I do those 4 fingers first and then the thumb, but we're going to go ahead and tap off that excess, get it cured for 30 seconds just so it is stuck onto the nail. We're not going to do like a full cure. And then anything left over once you come out, we're going to go ahead and just wipe away. So you do want to be very cautious when you do this part because it's not fully cured yet, so it can still transfer just a little bit or spread. So although it looks like I'm being a little rough, I'm actually doing it very softly. And then if you notice that you pushed any of that gel and caused it to get into the cuticle area, or any of the loose glitter gets stuck anywhere other than where you want it, right now would be a good time to go in with a little bit of acetone or alcohol on a cuticle brush. This one that I'm using is actually like a UV gel brush, but something that's rounded and able to get into really tiny places. You'll wipe away anything now while it's still not fully cured, and then move on to the next nails. Once everything is done and this process has been completed for all 5 fingers, then you'll do a full 60-second cure to make sure that everything is stuck. Okay, and then lastly, friends, this is where we're at. So everything is matte except for where we went in. I want to thank you so much for watching this video with me and supporting my content, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see you next time. Bye. Say hasta luego. Muy bien, rapping kilo.